Wow, that was intense! Woo! I just flew in from the new ruins level, and boy, are my arms tired. Thank you very much, baby. Thank you very much. That was funny stuff. Wow, funny stuff. Doc, did you see that? Hi, I'm Crash Bandicoot, the super marsupial, the wonder from down under, the rocket with a pocket. You may remember me from my last adventure where I just, I don't know, saved the world. You're welcome. And now I have to do it again. You're just in time to see my new digs. Crash 2 is incredible. It's bigger, deeper, even wider. It has over 30 levels. It's absolutely and totally different than anything you've ever experienced. Check out these cool new moves. Whoa! Good thing I'm not wearing tight pants, because they would have ripped for sure. Woo! I also ride this cool jetpack and this most excellent jet ski. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Ha-ha! But what I really want is crystals. Lots of crystals. We need those crystals more than ever because... Hey, do you smell something? It's not me. I think I smell a rat. Oh well, it must be my imagination. Hey, speaking of rats, you know the mad scientist from the last Crash Bandicoot, Dr. Neo Cortex? He's back! Turns out he's a pretty nice guy. Went to one of those self-help seminars, turned over a new leaf. He says he's going to help me out this time. Yeah, help me out. You know what I told him? Why don't you take a 12-step program off a 10-step pier? And his motley crew's back as well. His discombobulated buddy Dr. Embryo and Ripperoo, P.U. Plus, new guys like the Komodo Brothers, Joe and Mo, Engine, and how about those fire-breathing dudes? Whoa, talk about bad breath. They must have eaten a barbecue for lunch. And check out these beautiful new levels. Oh, yuck! The sewer level. Okay, maybe this isn't so beautiful, but it sure is cool looking, huh? This is where I do other new moves, like wading through deep water, crawling on my belly like a reptile. You can even make me flop on my furry Bandicoot belly. Haha! I can unlock puzzles and reach levels not experienced in other games, all with your help, of course. I mean, I can't do it alone. I am but one Bandicoot after all. Wait till you see me swing like an ape from those pipes. I am not an animal. I am Crash Bandicoot. We can shred the slopes in the snow level. In fact, Crash 2 is such a big world, there are some places even I haven't seen yet. So I'm gonna scout ahead, mates, while you expand your horizons right here. Hey, take a good look around, mates, 'cause this is way better than the real world. Crash 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Still only on PlayStation, 'cause PlayStation rules! Ha-ha!
David Sealer left the company and Mark Cerny was promoted to president of Universal Interactive. Cerny, who had previously been instrumental in the production of the original Crash Bandicoot, now took on a more direct and influential role as producer for the highly anticipated sequel. This change in leadership signaled a renewed focus and commitment to the PlayStation platform and its flagship titles. Within Naughty Dog, the ambitious vision for Crash 2 clashed with the harsh realities of the accelerated schedule. Taylor Kurosaki, a key member of the original team, found himself confronting the impossibility of realizing many of his creative aspirations. Ideas like a full 100-degree camera rotation, which would have offered players control and environmental awareness, were casualties of the time crunch. Beyond the professional frustrations, the relentless pace of development would lead to severe crunch conditions, demanding an unreasonable level of overtime. This proved too great for Kurosaki, who, along with Dan Cole Morgan, ultimately left Naughty Dog. The departing of experienced talent necessitated an expansion of the Naughty Dog team. A new group of skilled individuals joined the team, including Stephen White, Greg Omi, Eric Iwasaki, Eric Pangolinian, Rob Titus, Joe Labby, and Dan Ari. This influx of fresh perspectives and expertise was crucial, but it also demanded a new approach to collaboration and project management. The expanded team's core objective was ambitious: to double the fun of the original game by effectively doubling the number of elements displayed on screen, all while maintaining the critical 30 frames per second target that defined the smooth gameplay of its predecessor. Achieving such a leap in on-screen complexity within a single year required a fundamental re-evaluation of the game's underlying architecture. Almost the entire framework of the game engine had to be rewritten. Recognizing the impossibility of completing this monumental task sequentially, the team adopted a modular approach. This strategy involved dissecting the engine into self-contained components. The paramount advantage of modularity, especially in complex software development, is its ability to isolate changes. Modifying one component would not cascade into unforeseen problems across the entire project, a common pitfall in non-modular code bases. This principle can be understood through a programming analogy. Consider the act of consuming food. Instead of writing 3 separate functions for eating food, drinking water, and chewing gum, a modular approach would involve creating 2 fundamental functions: chew and swallow. For food, both chew and swallow are invoked. For liquids, only swallow is used. For gum, only chew is employed. This breakdown not only simplifies understanding and debugging, but also makes teamwork easier. Developers could work on individual modules without any dependencies and wait times, thereby accelerating the overall development process. The technical underpinnings of Crash 2 saw dramatic improvements. Naughty Dog's programming language, GUL, short for Game Oriented Object Lisp, which had powered the original game, was entirely recoded in assembly language. This low-level optimization, combined with modifications to its compiler, drastically enhanced performance. The result was GUL 2, a significantly more robust system capable of handling twice the polygon count and executing operations 3 times faster than its predecessor. Furthermore, their data chunk system, responsible for loading and managing game assets much better than any other game at the time, was refined to support even larger and more expansive levels, providing a greater canvas for level designers.
Step through, sir.
That's odd.
Empty out your pockets.
Huh.
Are you wearing a watch?
Oh, for goodness sake. Every time I come here.
After a short vacation, Crash is back. And this time, he's ready for just about anything.
I am not comfortable with this. Whoa! Hello.
PlayStation.
After a short vacation, Crash is back.
Hey! She did it. I told her not to put that in there.
PlayStation.
These foundational technical advancements, coupled with advanced compression techniques, unlocked a new level of detail and complexity. most notably in the sheer volume and variety of Crash's death animations. Embracing Crash Bandicoot's Looney Tunes inspirations, Naughty Dog leaned heavily into a more cartoonish and expressive style for Crash's demise. Crash 2 let go of the out-of-sight, out-of-mind logic. In the original game, Crash often maintained a worried expression, primarily relevant when a boulder was chasing him. However, when moving left or right, only parts of his face were visible, rendering the constant worried expression contextually nonsensical. Crash 2 introduced a dynamic facial animation system. Crash would now only display worry when actively pursued. He could even look back to see the proximity of danger, and dramatic animations were implemented for moments of near-death escapes. This nuanced approach to animation brought Crash's character to life in ways previously unimagined.
A 班、ここからが B 班。先生、前が見えません。先生もみんなが見えないな。クラッシュ君すまんね。その代わりと言ってはなんだが、A 班の班長はクラッシュ君だ。人の命がかかってるんだ。責任重大だぞ。では B 班は木村。嫌です。お願いします。嫌です。お願いします。
One of the design decisions for Crash 2 was the intentional consideration of the analog stick. This led to the implementation of a 360-degree movement. Still nowhere near the Mario 64 level of freedom, but a significant upgrade from the purely digital directional controls of the first game. This newfound fluidity in movement allowed for more nuanced player control and introduced a subtle walk animation, which would play when the player applied only slight pressure to the analog stick, differentiating it from Crash's default run. The enhanced graphical capabilities also opened doors for new visual effects, including weather systems and reflective surfaces. A major technical hurdle overcome by Greg Omi was implementation of Z-buffering. Z-buffering is a crucial technique for determining which surfaces are visible and which are hidden in a 3D scene, preventing graphical pressure. Its successful implementation on the PS1, a console not generally considered capable of such a feature, was a showcase of Naughty Dog's ingenuity and deep understanding of the hardware. The workflow for level design also saw substantial improvements, largely thanks to the extensive experience of Rob Titus with the Power Animator. Titus introduced more streamlined methods for asset creation and manipulation. Texture mapping, a fundamental process in 3D graphics, could now be achieved with remarkable ease, reportedly in just 2 clicks. Furthermore, some resource management and complex calculations were automated, and certain asset manipulations could be performed directly within JSON-like text files, freeing designers from tedious manual adjustments within complex 3D software. This heightened efficiency in asset creation and level design directly contributed to a greater variety of enemies and environmental elements. Mark Cerny himself expressed a desire to contribute to level design, initially aiming for 1/3 of the game's levels. However, his passion and dedication led him to design 90% of the game's levels. The graphical diversity of the levels expanded significantly beyond the Australian inspiration landscapes of the first game. Crash 2 introduced distinct snow levels, dreamy sewer environments, and more elaborative jungle and temple settings. providing a richer visual variety. Crucially, the team made an effort to eliminate the use of fog, a common technique on less powerful hardware to mask draw distance limitations and performance issues. By optimizing their engine and asset management, Naughty Dog ensured a clearer, more immersive visual experience.
楽勝だもんな。どういうこと？お前知らないの？何？アンダーセブンティーンの強化選手の候補なんだぜ。嘘。ほら、あそこにスカウトマンがいるだろ。本当だ。クラッシュの番だ。
よし、みんなで保健室に運ぼう。
頭を打っているので動かさない方がいいと思います。マジです、マジです、マジです、マジです、マジです。
俺ちょっとクラッシュにはがっかりしたな。でも可愛いじゃない。あ、薄め開けてる。
プレイステーション。
Learning from the criticism of Crash 1's at times unforgiving difficulty, Naughty Dog implemented a dynamic difficulty system in Crash 2. This system secretly adjusted the challenge based on player performance. For instance, surprise crates, which in the first game primarily offered Wumpa fruits, could now dispense an extra life if a player was struggling in a particular level. In some instances, these crates could even transform into checkpoint crates. Furthermore, the game introduced a system where Crash would be granted an Aku Aku mask if he respawned too many times in the same location, providing a protective shield to help him overcome the obstacle. Even environmental elements, like the iconic rolling boulders, could be adjusted, slowing down slightly with each consequence player death. While seemingly minor, these thoughtful adjustments made the game more accessible and less frustrating, rewarding persistence without sacrificing the core challenge. The character of Tano, Crash's girlfriend from the original Crash Bandicoot, became a subject of controversy. While Naughty Dog felt Tano's design was appropriate for the game's overall aesthetic, pressure from Universal and Sony regarding her maturity for a title aimed at younger audience ultimately led to a removal from the sequel. This opened a critical door for innovation, a chance to redefine Crash's personal landscape and introduce a character who could actively participate in his adventures. The brainstorming sessions at Naughty Dog led to the conception of Coco Bandicoot, Crash's younger sister. Far from being a mere damsel in distress, Coco was envisioned as a formidable intellect, a prodigy with a keen appetite for both programming and mechanical engineering. Her design often featured her with a laptop, symbolizing her prowess in the digital realm. This character concept allowed her to be more than just a passive presence. She was conceived as an active participant, capable of hacking into complex systems, developing new gadgets, and providing Crash with technical support. The introduction of Coco not only provided a new beloved character for fans, but also offered narrative opportunities for technical problem solving and unique gameplay contributions.
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。この度、クラッシュバンディクー2がいよいよ発売になります。この2では新技が続々登場。 スライディングボディプレスはいはいなどなどウルトラ C 級的な技が目白押し。それではクラシ君お願いいたします。ありがとうございます。
驚異の新技続々登場クラッシュバンディクー2。
本日の目玉新兵器サーフボードの登場です。ジャジャジャジャジャジャジャジャップジャジャジャジャジャジャジャジャ。
プレイステーション
The memorable personalities of Crash Bandicoot 2 were brought to life through the compelling performances of a talented voice cast. Clancy Brown, a veteran actor known for his commanding presence and distinctive vocal range, took on a crucial role of the menacing Dr. Neo Cortex. Brown's powerful delivery gave Cortex a new layer of chilling authority, solidifying his position as a formidable and iconic supervillain. Brendan O'Brien, who had contributed to the characters of the original Crash Bandicoot, returned to lend his talents to multiple characters again, including Crash himself, Dr. Un-Bearable, and the newly introduced antagonist Engine. O'Brien's ability to shift between the distinct vocalizations required for these diverse roles was essential to the game's characterization. His portrayal of Crash, with its signature vocalizations and expressive grunts, remained an important part of the character's appeal. He also navigated the more complex and sinister tones required for Engine, adding a new dimension for the villainous roster. Vicky Winters voiced Coco Bandicoot. Winters' performance captured Coco's intelligence, youthful energy, and distinct personality, although she was too excited to be part of, well, anything, so she wouldn't reprise her role in the future games.
Allez! Papa s'est fait manger par une baleine. Allez, allez, attention! Oh, il s'est fait finir par un pingouin! Oh, le tigre, trop fort! Oh, la ville!
Tu fais moi le malin tout à l'heure, hein? Tu fais moi le malin!
Laissez parler l'animal qui est en vous. Crash Bandicoot 2 sur PlayStation.
Crash Bandicoot 2 had a more complex narrative than the first Crash game, moving beyond the straightforward Dr. Cortex's evil and must be stopped premise. As opposed to what you might think, the device that mutates the animals in this series is actually invented by Un-Bearable. Cortex himself invented the Cortex Vortex, which would brainwash the mutant animals. And the narrative of Crash 2 would be based on this fact. Dr. Un-Bearable, realizing Dr. Cortex's tyrannical and manipulative nature, embarked on a path of independent research, aiming to utilize his genius for more heroic purposes. However, Cortex, ever the schemer, came up with a cunning plan to take advantage of Crash's heroism. He deliberately misled Crash into believing that Un-Bearable was the true villain behind the mutant experiments from Crash 1, manipulating Cortex into assisting him. Unbeknownst to Crash, his heroic efforts were inadvertently contributed to Cortex's renewed schemes for world domination. Crash's newfound sister Coco emerged as a crucial ally, driven by a familial concern and her exceptional hacking abilities. Coco attempted to break Cortex's digital defenses to warn Crash of his deception. Simultaneously, Dr. Un-Bearable, now acting in opposition to Cortex, contributed to the unfolding events by creating new mutant animals. This complex web of deceit, familial loyalty, and evolving villainy provided a richer and more engaging story that expanded the lore of the Crash Bandicoot universe.
あのクラッシュバンディクーがさらにグレートになっちゃいました。その名もクラッシュバンディクー2。
ねえ、どこが変わったの？
今度はサーフィンだってしちゃうし、ボディプレスはできるし、運転もしちゃうし、パパグマに追いかけられたり、はいはいだって。プレイステーション。
The development of Crash Bandicoot 2 was characterized by an even more severe crunch than its predecessor. The team at Naughty Dog operated under a relentless schedule, with many members working extremely long hours. Jason Rubin, a co-founder of Naughty Dog, reportedly worked for 364 days out of the year, taking off only a single day due to severe illness. Andy Gavin, the other co-founder, endured an even more intense period, spending the entire 365 days of the year working in the office, unable to even visit his home for an hour. This level of dedication, born out of necessity and a shared vision, pushed the boundaries of human endurance. The lack of a significant rest period following the demanding development of Crash 1 only amplified the physical and mental pressure, making the creation of Crash 2 a true showcase of the team's resilience and passion.
たかしくんって子供よね。あ、クラッシュだ。あれは偽クラッシュよ。偽クラッシュ？テレビでやってたもの。
最近のクラッシュブームでついに偽クラッシュが登場しました。偽物は鼻の直径が若干大きく、目つきも多少悪どくなっているようです。
踊りがいけてないわ彼。全くセンスないわね。どういうつもりかしら。眉毛が嫌。逃げた。あ、またクラッシュだ。今度は本物っぽいわ。鼻も小さいし。本物の踊りはやっぱり違うわ。私たちじゃこうはいかないわよね。
ピンポーン。みんな元気かな？クラッシュダンスを正しく踊れるビデオよ。
そうです。これが初のダンス完全バージョン。このビデオを抽選で1000名様にプレゼント。完成はがきにご覧の内容をご記入の上、郵便番号 107-8880 赤坂郵便局局留クラッシュビデオ係までお送りください。
応募してね。プレイステーション。
The first thing we see after pressing start is the ending of Crash 1. Cortex falls into a pit where he finds a master crystal. It is a huge source of power that Cortex can use for world domination. 1 year passes and Cortex has made a space station alongside his new henchman Dr. Engine, because Embryo isn't loyal to Cortex anymore and wants to be a good guy now. Engine reminds Cortex that they also need 25 slave crystals, but they have no allies on Earth anymore. Cortex says then they can get help from an enemy. On Earth, Coco, younger sister of Crash, asks him to find a new battery for her laptop. So now we have a tutorial level that helps us get used to the controls. If you have played Crash 1 before it, then the controls are almost the same. Now we have a 360-degree movement with the left analog stick, because this game came after the analog controller. Still nowhere near the Mario 64 level of freedom, but still the movement is much smoother this time. Also now Crash can stand on 4 legs by holding circle. Using it you can duck or go through narrow places that he couldn't normally go through. But its main use is in the air. After jumping you can press circle and Crash will do a belly slam, crushing enemies or crates below him. Pressing circle while moving will do a dash that can also destroy crates and enemies, and it can also be used as a mean for a higher jump. So yeah, now you can do many things with the circle. R1 does the same thing as circle, and pressing it instead of circle is more ergonomic. Now by pressing triangle, you can also see how many crates you have broken and the jewelries you have collected in each level. We have a new type of crates, Nitro. They are explosive like the TNTs, but they explode at the exact moment of contact. They also count as crates, but don't worry, because usually at the end of each level there is a green switch crate that destroys all nitro crates. Also some crates can only be broken by belly slamming. Some levels has skull platforms that are activated on the condition of reaching them without dying. They have hidden gems in them, and sometimes they are needed to break all crates. After the tutorial, Crash is sent to a warp room by Cortex. We have a much simpler level select this time. There are 5 warp rooms and each include 5 levels, so 25 main levels. You can choose any level from the current warp room, and also now you can save the game each time you finish or exit a level. No nonsense like Crash 1. In each level you can easily find one crystal and also 1 or 2 gems that are not as easy to collect as the crystals. One gem can always be collected by breaking all crates. This time there is no need for doing it without dying. Thanks God. The other gem usually needs a unique and more challenging way to be acquired. There is a bonus section in each level. Dying in them doesn't cost a life, but you should also break all the boxes in them as well, unlike the Crash 1 versions. After each warp room, we will have a boss fight. By collecting all 25 crystals and defeating all 5 bosses, you will get the normal ending, where Cortex is defeated, but the Cortex vortex would still be floating in space. Add all 42 gems to the collection and you will get the good ending, where Cortex is defeated and his vortex is also destroyed with the help of Un-Bearable.
皆さん、転校生のクラッシュ君です。クラッシュ君は踊りを少々やるそうだ。クラッシュダンシング。
先生、クラッシュ君なんで服着ていないんですか？
高木、人は見かけで判断しちゃいけないぞ。こう見えてクラッシュ君は英雄なんだぞ。クラッシュダンシング。
先生、僕の一緒の字です。
君は秀夫だ。英雄じゃない。クラッシュダンシング。
教室で踊るのは良くないと思います。教室で踊るのは良くないと思います。教室で踊るのは良くないと思います。
Turtle Woods. Level 1 is in a jungle and it is raining. We see some mice that are basically the Goombas of this game. There's some mod that Crash will move slowly in it. There is this circle that is begging to be belly slammed on. And yes, it does have a secret section of the level. The turtles return in this game, but they have been augmented by Cortex. There are 2 versions of them. Ones with spikes around them that can only be attacked from above, ones with chainsaw on top of them that can be attacked from anywhere but above. In this secret section, you need to master the dash ability, some platforms with long gaps between them, and also these ostriches that will sit down if you land on them. So you should immediately press circle while moving and then jump to reach the high platforms and break the crates on top of them. If you fail, you should redo this part. Some crates are floating in mud and you should do well-timed jumps to break them. There are big pits that when you fall into them, you should kill some moles that simply follow you in order to spawn a mushroom that can be used as a spring to get out of them. You can skip them, but you will save only a few seconds, so it is only useful for speedrunning. Now do you see this bounce crate placed suspiciously? If it was a normal crate, here would be the only part that couldn't be passed through without breaking boxes. Meaning thanks to this crate, you can finish the level without breaking any crates, which is how you get the blue gem from this level. This game has more good hints like this. Snow Go. The second level is snowy, a theme that took the first game much longer to reach. There are penguins that can spin just like Crash, and frozen lakes that obviously have ice physics. In its 2D sections, there are traps that try to crush you when you go under them, so pass through them fast. and ones that activate and deactivate automatically. Getting crushed triggers a funny death animation that wasn't so funny to Japan, so it had to be removed. Because at the time there was a serial killer in Japan that would separate the head and feet of his victims and would put the heads on their feet, which was just like this animation. There is a red gem that needs to be accessed through a secret in another level, but you can break sequence and collect it right now. But for me it takes a long time, so I rather collect it the legit way. Besides, finding it the legit way is more satisfying if you ask me. Some crates can only be broken by dashing plus jumping. There is a switch crate hidden high up here that activates these two crates. Some enemies ski down and it is satisfying to throw one through two others by spinning. Hang gate. Level 3 is waterfall theme and the music slaps. Some platforms go inside and outside water, so be careful with them. At some parts you can use a jet ski. You move like how you do on land, and Crash will dash with square. But be careful not to touch any bombs on the way, and there are whirlpools. Piranha plants also return here. Some hippos act as falling platforms. A timer will be activated, and by reaching the end of the level before it reaches 0, you can collect the other gem. So I suggest you not to break any checkpoint crates before collecting it, or else you have to exit the level to get another shot at it. You need the blue gem to break all crates, by letting you enter a challenging section with crates that should also be used as platforms. The pits. Level 4 looks like level 1 but without the rain. Some vultures will dive into you when you get close. It branches into two paths, like the first level of Crash 1, and this time it is with the same backtracking problem, but even worse because it is longer. But you'd better go to the left first to activate two crates on the path on the right. Crash Dash. Level 5 is a boulder chase level, but in this game it is a giant snowball instead, but still as dangerous as before. There is a special dramatic animation for when you barely survive. There are mines that don't hurt you, but they do slow you down or throw you into a bottomless pit if you get unlucky. There are also traps that electrifies you. Sometimes crates are behind them. Usually the snowball breaks the crates for you, except for these situations or when they are just behind the pit. There are dash pads that make you move really fast for a few seconds. Repair Room. The second boss fight from the first game returns. He is now allied with Embryo, who is against Cortex, so again he considers us enemy, even though he is a good guy now. He will spawn TNTs and you should avoid them. The first one to get spawned is the first to explode. Then he will spawn nitro crates, and this time the last one to get spawned is the first to explode. Then he will feel dizzy, and that's when you should spin into him. Do this cycle 2 more times to defeat him and go to the next warp room. In it you can jump on a polar bear cub 10 times to get a bunch of extra lives.
ねえねえ行きましょうよ。
ダメよダンスなんて。
とってもいい先生なのよ。
腕の角度は90度。船を漕ぐように左から3回シェイクシェイクシェイク
って感じ。
久保さんみたいにいかないわよ私は。
大丈夫よあなたできるわよ。
無理よ。
ぐるっと回って
こういう感じ。
できるかしら。
できるわよ。
私にやれるかしら。
やれるやれる。あそこよ。
クラッシュバンディクー2いよいよ発売。今度はゲームでも踊っちゃう。
Snowbees. Level 6 is like level 2. There are hedgehogs that bring out their needles when they see you, so attack them when they have put their back at you, or attack them so fast that they won't have enough time to react. You will need the red gem to reach a secret section, which is quite challenging. Air Crash. Level 7 is similar to level 3. You can't break all its crates right now, so just use the skull platform to get the other gem. This level probably has the first ever video game secret I found as a kid. While using a jet ski, some piranha plants spawn on these platforms. But there is this platform with nothing on it, with some boxes next to the jet ski that can be used as platforms that can help you reach it without the jet ski. Doing so will teleport you to the secret 6th warp room. Doing this as a kid felt like opening a gate to another dimension. It is simple, but when it is one of the first games you have ever played and you are very young, it hits much harder. This warp room also has 5 portals. 2 of them are secret levels and the other 3 take you to secret sections in the main levels. This secret opens the portal to Snow Go, where you can get the red gem after a challenging section. Bear It. Level 8 is the first animal riding level of the game. In this game, Crash rides polar bear cubs. All of them happen in snow levels, and they are just better versions of their Crash 1 versions. Just there are some TNTs that explode on their own, so you should avoid them. And also there are ice physics here and there. You can also hold circle to run faster for a few seconds, which can be used for longer jumps. Crash Crush. Level 9 is another snowball chase level. There are some electrifying beams that you should crawl to pass through them without getting damaged. Or you can dash and then jump to do it faster, which is necessary in these levels. At one part you should go right to break crates, but it is thankfully simple. You should just be aware of the dash and jump ability. The last part of the level has crates that the snowball won't break. One of them needs belly slamming, which makes it extra challenging. The Eel Deal. Level 10 is sewer themed. You should pass through long tubes. In them some machines go around, and some fans that you should go through them carefully. Sometimes there are eels in water. They sometimes electrify the entirety of the water, so you should enter water with precise timing. The green gem is hidden behind these 2. You can grab from monkey bars in this level. Komodo Bros. Now the second boss fight. One brother will keep spinning until he feels dizzy. That's when you should spin into him to throw him at his brother. That's when the other brother will throw sword all around himself. Second phase is the same as the first one, but at phase 3 the other brother will throw swords while one is spinning. You don't really need to move a lot here.
プレゼント。クラッシュ2だ。スターダスさんがなんで僕に？君が好きだからよ。本当ですか？地震かしら。
クラッシュ3へ
PlayStation
Plant Food. Level 11 is another waterfall level, and just like the first waterfall level, finishing it before the timer reaches 0 gives you the yellow gem. There is this section that if you are not in a hurry, you can kill the piranha plants before using the jet ski. Sewer or later. Level 12 is the second sewer level. There are these robots that use fire throwers, and they take a long time to let go. You can use the yellow gem to collect a hidden gem, and it only has the gem and no crates. You can throw these machines at the fans to break them. That's why the machines respawn. At one part you will need to go right to activate some crates, then go left to break them, and then go back to right. Bear down. Level 13 is the next bear riding level. At the end of it there is a secret, so obvious it doesn't even count as one. By jumping on this middle platform, you will be taken to the secret section of Air Crash so that you could break all crates. Road to Rome. Level 14 is temple theme, and I love the vibes. There are enemies that can only be dashed through, and statues that breathe fire. Again, you can't break all boxes right now, so just use the skull platform. Some parts reference the original Donkey Kong, as you need to dodge barrels that a monkey throws at you, and there are moving platforms and jumping monkeys. Un-Bearable. Level 15 is a snowball chase level, except this time giant polar bears chase you instead. Can't say I blame them, consider what I did to their cubs. There are fences that should be broken by spinning. There are also enemies on the way. Now, did you realize that this is the only bridge in chase levels that didn't fully break? That's because there is a secret down there that leads you to a challenging section that is needed to break all crates. At the later part of the level, there is a fence and electrifying beam at the same time, so dash instead of spinning. The final section is a combination of a chase level and the animal riding levels. And considering my interest in both of those levels, I love it very much. It is challenging and exciting at the same time. When you reach the end, go back to where you let go of the cub bear to get teleported to the secret 26th level called Totally Bear, which is a bear riding level, but this time it is in darkness. In that case, wouldn't it be better if the level was called Barely Visible? I like the mood of this level. It feels like 5 AM when the sun hasn't risen yet, but it is no longer dark. It is a weird shade of blue that is one of the most relaxing colors ever. Tiny Tiger. Now the third boss fight against one of my favorite characters of the franchise, Tiny Tiger. The name referring to the size of his brain, I assume. It is a simple boss fight. There are 9 platforms, and Tiny jumps on them to follow you. Some of them turn red, which means they are about to fall. You should trick Tiny into jumping on the red platforms so that he would fall.
はい、じゃあ次山田くん。おしゃれさんね。はい、じゃあ次クラッシュくん。脱がなくていいのよ。
体中傷だらけだな。どういうことなんだ。
みんな何も知らないのね。私は知っている。その傷はパパグマに追っかけられたり、サーフィンに失敗したり、土に潜ったり、あんなことやこんなことよね。これが噂のクラッシュバンディクー2発売中です。
なんだって。
行くぞ
Hanging out. Level 15 is sewer theme. After getting the crystal, you can go backward to find the secret, but I suggest doing it after collecting the gem, which could lead to a problem with the game. First time playing, you might want to break all crates, but might not know that this section takes you out of the level. There are these enemies that can't be damaged, and while reaching the secret, you may need to hold circle or R1 to avoid getting hurt by them. The hidden path takes you to the secret 27th level called Totally Fly, which is a level in pitch darkness. Some fireflies stay with you for a short while, so momentum is a big part of this level. Digging It. Level 16 can be really annoying. There are plants that throw bombs, but they cower in fear when you get too close to them. That's when you can belly slam on them. There are beehives that spawn bees, and you should either run away from them or do a very well-timed spin to get rid of them. Some parts of the floor is red, which means by pressing square, you can go under it and navigate the level like a mole, making you safe from the bees, but still be careful for the nitro crates. You can get out by pressing cross. This level has two paths. You can go backwards only on the right, so go left first. Then you should go backwards on the right, which is said much easier than done. After all these troubles, you might still leave out one crate because it was hidden so well in the bonus section. Belly slamming this suspiciously placed plant takes you to another secret, which is the hidden part of Road to Room. Cold Hard Crash. Now level 17. The infamous level of the game. It is a snow level with falling platforms and icicles that can fall on you. This one also, just like level 16, has a well hidden crate in the bonus section that can waste minutes or even hours of work, because after doing all the hard challenges of it, you will realize you still left out one single crate. What really makes this level unfairly difficult is the death route. Make sure to activate the checkpoint before jumping on the skull platform. First get the gem and then restart from the checkpoint so that you will break all crates in that route next time. It is a 2D section full of traps and nitro crates plus ice physics. There is this one single crate that needs to be activated by a switch at the end of it, meaning you should backtrack the entire section to break that crate and jump on that skull platform again to go back to where you was and break the rest of the crates. You are destined to die many times while doing so. And look at these iron crates here. They knew this was unfair. They just didn't care. Ruination. Level 18 is also temple themed. With the green gem you can enter a secret section and collect a hidden gem. That route doesn't have any crate, so just restart from the checkpoint after collecting the gem. Behaving. Level 20 is like level 16 but not annoying. There are these hammer guys that can trigger one of the funniest death animations. This time, instead of one bee at the time, a group of them approach you. So if you can't run away from them, you should spin twice in a row with very precise timing to survive. There is a section with many nitro crates that should be navigated with care. The nitro crates move all the time except for here, which means there is a secret on top of it. You can get the purple gem by doing so. The secret section doesn't have any boxes, so you don't have to go through its entirety. Engine. This time the controls are altered. Here you can only move and throw Wumpas forward. So without the dash ability, evading attacks will be harder. First you should attack the parts that throw laser, then the parts that throw missiles, and finally the middle part that can vaporize you and the platform you are on. The platforms will respawn after a while, but still be careful.
クラッシュ2をやりながら会社に行こうとしたらみんなと仲良くなったけど夜になっちゃった。やめられないよ。クラッシュバンディクー2叱られたけど踊ってごまかした。プレイステーション
Piston it away. Level 21 is futuristic. Some stuff are just like the ones from the previous levels, but with a different code, like crushing traps and enemies that can only be killed by dashing. Some robots have electrifying tentacles that move. Sometimes they are around them, so you should jump on them. Sometimes they are above them, so do anything but jumping. Some devices shoot you when you step on a specific button platform. They shrink you to death, but thankfully the shot can be parried by spinning just before they reach you. It has a creative bonus section that makes you backtrack and use the crates as platforms before breaking them. Some robots have shields and they will push according to a pattern, so you should attack them when they are not pushing. I love the funny sound they make when they die. Only when you reach the end of the level, you should go back on the skull platform to reach the other section and break all the crates. Rocket. Now we have a new type of variety level. Level 22 has no gravity and Crash should use a jetpack. Of course the controls are inverted. You can still spin by pressing square, but now by pressing circle you go forward and by pressing cross you go backward. There are many traps to avoid, but it is not a difficult task. Some robots can shock you, so be careful when you attack them. Night Fight. Level 23 is also in pitch black. It has a death route with 1 gem and 2 crates. You should get the gem, then restart and go through the main route, and when you reach the end of it, go backward in the death route to break those 2 crates, because they are at the end of it, so not that big of a deal. Hack Attack. Level 24 is the second and last jetpack level, and although there are only 2 of them, I did not appreciate their existence because moving in them is slow and it lacks the flow and momentum that makes the other levels fun. Spaced Out. Level 25 shares theme with level 21. If you have collected all the colored gems, you can go to a challenging section to get a hidden gem. It is satisfying to use different colors of gems to go from one part to another, but overall I like the challenge of level 21 better. Cortex. Now the final boss fight, and it is probably the worst final boss of all time. You are chasing Cortex with a jetpack, and Cortex doesn't even try to stop you. There are a bunch of rocks on the way to slow you down, but nothing can harm you. You should just go forward and spin when you reach Cortex 3 times to save the world. As a kid, I just thought it was the calm before the storm. I believe that after this pathetic excuse of a fight, we would have a real battle. But when I beat him and saw the end credits, I was like, okay, that surely was an anticlimactic. Yeah, even 8-year-old me wasn't satisfied with it.
Guess who's back? After a short vacation, Crash returns. This time he'll have to fight his way through huge, all-new 3D environments. He'll fly with a jetpack, surf on a jetboard. Yahoo! He'll even have to avoid a stampeding polar bear. It's a good thing he's got new moves, because he'll face plenty of dangerous new obstacles. Crash is back, and he's better than ever.
Who's the man? I think we know who the man is. PlayStation.
Number 32. Cortex. Probably the worst final boss ever because of how boring and anticlimactic it is. Number 31. Rocket. I don't like the jetpack levels. Number 30. Hack Attack. Same as Rocket. Number 29. Engine. A boss fight that takes too long. Also, when you alter the gameplay, it should make it more fun, not less fun. Number 28. Komodo Bros. I like my boss fights to be a little bit more engaging. Number 27. Reaper Roo. A little bit stressful, but a good enough first boss. Number 26. Tiny Tiger. The best boss fight because it isn't stressful and it isn't boring. It is balanced. But honestly, the bar for the boss fights aren't so high. Number 25. Cold Hard Crash. One of the most unfairly hard levels. Completing it can take you hours. Number 24. Diggin It. Same as Cold Hard Crash, but just a little bit less annoying. Number 23, The Pits, a level from a sequel that still suffers from the same problems of the first game. Number 22, Hanging Out, a good sewer level, but first time playing you might lose minutes of progress. Number 21, Crash Dash, a good chase level, but sometimes feels a bit unfair. Number 20, Snow Go, a good level, but it is just a little bit annoying that it can't be completed from this workroom. Also, it has a switch crate hidden in an unfair place. Number 19, Air Crash, same as Snow Go, but slightly more fun. Also, it is the only level that needs you to enter it 3 times, which is a little bit too much. Some other levels need to be entered 2 times, and most of the levels can be completed by entering it once. Number 18, Road to Room, same as Air Crash but with better vibes. Number 17, Sooner or Later. This sewer level kills the flow because of these enemies. Number 16, Hangate, a great level, the only problem is that there is a better version of it. Number 15, Snow Bees, better than the previous snow level because you can easily complete it by playing it once. Number 14, Bear It, love the animal riding levels, but there are better ones. Number 13, Bear Down, same as Bear It. Number 12, Totally Bear, the best polar bear riding level, kinda. Number 11, Ruination, great level design plus great vibes plus a good optional challenge. Number 10, Night Fight, flow and momentum is a big part of this level, and it has an interesting gimmick, but the branching was a little bit annoying. Number 9, Crash Crush, love the chase levels, but there is a better one. Number 8, Spaced Out, a good enough final level, but the Crash 1 final level was much better. Number 7, Turtle Woods, a good enough first level, but I think the first level of Crash 1 was better. Number 6, Plant Food, the best waterfall level for balancing the challenge and fun. Number 5, the Eel Deal, the first and best of the sewer levels because it doesn't have anything annoying. It has a good secret and has good branching, and flow and momentum will never be ruined. Number 4, Piston It Away, the best 2D level of the game with interesting traps and graphics. Number 3, Behaving, one of the best Crash levels in general, challenging yet so fun with interesting gimmicks. Number 2, Totally Fly, like Night Fight but with no branching, making it completely flow based. And number 1, Un-Bearable. In my ranking of Crash 1 levels, you might have realized that I like the animal riding levels and I like the chase levels. So a level that combines both of them, yeah, it will make my number 1.
The white zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers only.
Guess who's back? Looking for flight information? Check this out. Ho! Ladies and gentlemen, perfection. Polar bear, no match for the Bandicoot! Poetry in motion.
You are not authorized to operate this equipment.
Quiet or I'll crush you.
After a short vacation, Crash is back.
What?
PlayStation.
Not only Crash 2 is my second favorite Crash game, it is one of my favorite games of all time. The game is not perfect, but every problem it has is just a minor inconvenience. At one point it was my pick for the best Crash game, but we will eventually get to the Crash game that dethroned it in my heart. Crash 2 doesn't really have any big problems. The gameplay has a very enjoyable flow, the music is relaxing, the graphics are incredible, especially for a PS1 game, and 100%ing the game is actually enjoyable and not hell, unlike some Crash games. The overall game as a package is one of the most chill and laid-back video game experiences I've ever had. It is one of those games I could play when I have a bad day, and in just a few minutes the smile would come back to my face. But I think the biggest impact the game had on me was because of its funny death animations. When it comes to video games, I am a very calm and patient person. In situations that most people become enraged, I stay calm and determined. Some people would start shouting, swearing once per second, throw or break something. But I would say I will conquer this challenge next time. Some of my family members and friends will watch me play a game, and each time I would lose, they would get pissed off instead of me. They would ask me how I managed to keep my cool after enduring everything a video game could throw at me. And my answer would be, I play games to feel better, not worse. And I believe the reason I have a good mentality like this is because of growing up with this game. It was one of the first games I played as a kid, so Crash's death animations were much funnier to me than they are right now. Even failure had its own rewards. When I died, I would laugh instead of being annoyed. I grew up with a game that taught me failing isn't bad. That same mentality got transformed to other games I played since. And that's why no matter how many times I lose in a video game, I will keep trying. Crash 2's impact wasn't just on me. Crash Bandicoot 2, just like the first game, was a financial success. And critically it got great reviews. Crash 1 had its fair amount of criticism. But Crash 2, it had fixed all the big issues with the game that came before it, so there wasn't really any room left for criticism. Also, the unfair comparison to Mario 64 and saying stuff like it isn't a real 3D game were gone. It received nothing but positivity. So of course they would make Crash 3. So next time we will have a look at Crash Bandicoot 3 and see if for the third game we would have literal perfection, or would the crunch finally have an impact on the quality of the game.